All right, after you have sewn the sides of your bag and the bottom of the bag and all of the seams are pressed nice and flat, if you do these on different days, please make sure the day that you're putting the muslin inside the bag that you repress any of these seams. You want to make sure they're all nice and flat. All right, we are now at step number 2. Please make sure you get a rubric check before you proceed on to number 2. Sew seam edge flaps down with about 5 stitches along all 8 sides. So you're probably thinking, wait a minute, there's only 4 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, we're actually going to sew these seam flaps down. So I'm going to open up the bag and I'm going to sew only right alongside the opening. So I'm going to draw with chalk just so you can see it on the video where you're going to be sewing. We are doing what's called a basting stitch, which is a basic stitch that does not need to be backstitched at the beginning or the end. You're just sewing a straight line right alongside those openings. The reason we do this is we're creating a basting stitch so that these seams stay nice and flat. Whenever you go to put your drawstring through your casing, if these are not sewn down, your drawstring will continue to get stuck on this seam. So we got to make sure it's nice and flat. So I'm going to actually come down. I'm going to take the flatbed attachment off of the sewing machine and put it to the side. I'm then going to have enough room to put my bag underneath. When you're sewing these seam flaps down, you have to make sure you don't have your fabric together, or else you're going to sew your fabric together and then you're going to have to seam rip it. So make sure you just have one side of your fabric. Place one of your seam sides underneath the presser foot and the needle. Presser foot down, needle down, sew, sew, sew. I'm only sewing on this line that is to the side of where the opening is. You do not have to backstitch. You're just doing one straight stitch. Stop. Make sure your needle's up. Lift your presser foot. Pull your fabric to the side. And you're going to cut those threads.